Welcome to another episode of Where the Stones Have a Story to Tell. And welcome to all of the new subscribers, hot off the episode of the 5 reasons to be able to tell you've got a Native American stone row. Upon the success of that episode, I thought I'd do another short episode on a very intriguing prospect put forth in a book 35 years ago by James Mavor Jr. and Byron Dix. It was called Manitou. Very important book that, although they weren't archaeologists, they did a vast amount of research on the history and ethnography of a variety of Native American structures. One such structural type they deep dove into was prayer seats. They even used an example of a prayer seat from this forest, Gilbert Hills State Forest in Foxborough, Massachusetts. They basically laid out a variety of purposes for these structures, and they had done research based on a tribe that had emigrated out of this area into California almost 3,000 years ago. One of the purposes for prayer seats was for shaman to have vision quests. And they made an intriguing comment at the end of that section, simply saying that occasionally, upon the conclusion of a shaman's final vision quest, the prayer seat would be ceremonially destroyed. Well, it's quite possible in this area of a recent forest fire in Gilbert Hills State Forest, we found evidence of exactly that. So let's take a look and see if you think we have evidence of a practice that dates back more than 3,000 years. So this is a video I took as I approached this structure for the first time. Wasn't sure what it was. But before we get into it, let's back out and take a look at some prayer seats that are fully formed and remain intact or relatively intact. This is the large prayer seat that is in the book Manitou. You can see that U shape. Now we're coming up behind a different one, and I just wanted to show you a top-down view of sort of the open area that would be in a prayer seat where the shaman would sit. With that, let's head back to now a LiDAR image of the structure. And I'm going to highlight here a couple things. So with my awesome graphic capabilities, we'll block out what it would have been the center of the prayer seat. So you can see this structure maintains its original U-shaped form. It just has a number of stones in the middle. Switching that away, those stones don't protrude past that U-shaped cairn. So there seems to have been a methodology to the destruction of it. No one went in and broke them outwards, and they don't even protrude beyond the front of it. So it seemed very controlled as to what the individuals were doing when they destroyed that prayer seat. And you can see the remainder of what was the structure. So let's take a spin around the LiDAR image. We're going to go down and take a look across the front and see that front edge where the stones really don't protrude outside of the original U-shaped structure of the prayer seat. Take a spin around the back. You can still see that bottom row of stones completely intact in that U-shaped cairn. So looks to me like we have ourselves possibly an ancient, ceremonially destroyed prayer seat. Well, what do you think? Do we have an ancient prayer seat that was ritually destroyed, as described by Mavor and Dix? Well, I'm reminded of something that Doug Harris has said in a video I've linked to the description. He is a retired tribal conservation officer, and in his words, to start with, I'll end in mine, if you've got one object, it's an anomaly. You have two, it's a cultural anomaly. And then if you've got three, well, maybe you've got a pattern and you've got the truth. So this is an example, I think, of an anomaly. In the next several episodes, we're going to visit other structures in this forest that I think match this same description and see if we can get to 2 or 3 other examples of ritually destroyed prayer seats. And I'll end by saying exactly on the exit of the prayer seat as the shaman would have been sitting facing you at the camera, is 130 degrees, which is exactly where sun rises here on the winter solstice. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.